Hello, everybody. This is going to be a quick tutorial on how to set up FactoryIO with TIA Portal from Siemens. So we're going to need three pieces of software. We're going to need PLCSIM Advanced. We're going to need FactoryIO. And we're going to need, this is TIA Portal on the right-hand side. And we're going to need FactoryIO on the left right here. We're going to start with PLCSIM Advanced. Once PLCSIM Advanced is running, we're going to make sure that in the online access area, we're going to select PLCSIM, and then under the Start Simulated PLC Instance, we're going to open that drop-down menu, and we are going to provide an instance name of FactoryIO. FactoryIO. And then once we do that, we're going to hit Start. This is going to boot up a virtual PLC in the background. If this is the first time that you are starting PLCSIM, this instance will likely have an amber or yellow LED indicator. If that's the case, that's perfectly fine. It just means the PLC is in stop mode, which will change once we upload a program to it for the first time. From there, we're going to go over to TIA Portal. We have, I have a new project open, but I don't have any devices configured yet. So you'll need to create a new project. And once you're here, we'll go to Add Device. We're going to go under the Simatic S7 1500 drop-down menu. And then we're going to select the 1512C-1 CPU. And we're going to select the very bottom model number here and click Add. On this menu, we're basically going to disable every one of these options that we see here because we need to be able to, FactoryIO needs to be able to talk directly to PLCSIM, and we also will be uploading programs to this PLC simulation relatively frequently, and it would be annoying to have to constantly enter password information every time we make a change to the PLC configuration or to the PLC program itself. So we're going to disable the PLC configuration data. We are going to disable the secure HMI communication option, and we are going to disable the access control option and click OK there. And then we are going to click Finish. Once we're in our project with our device configured, we're going to come to the top of the program or the project tree. And we are going to right click on the very top level component here and come down to Properties. Then we're going to click on Protection, and we're going to make sure that support for simulation during block compilation is selected. And we're going to hit OK. From there, the check that we're going to do to make sure that this whole thing is configured correctly is we're going to go over to the accessible device search. We're going to start that up. From the first drop-down menu, we're going to select our Profinet/Industrial Ethernet network, and then we're going to hit Start Search. We should also, as a note, make sure that PLCSIM is the option that is highlighted here. If for whatever reason it's not defaulting to PLCSIM, if you open the drop-down menu and you see PLCSIM there, select it from that drop-down menu. If it's not there, that likely means that PLCSIM Advanced is not actually running a PLC instance at the time that you're doing this search. And so that's why we set up PLCSIM Advanced first, that before we get to this point, we know that that PLC is running on the network. The way that we can make sure that we understand which instance of a PLC we're interacting with is that we are going to see an IP address associated with it. And so 192.168.01 matches the IP address of the device we see over here on this industrial network. If those two match, then that's the instance that we're going to interact with. So we're going to hit Show here. And we'll just give this a moment to think as it pulls that information. And you can see that it showed up in the online access menu here. And if this happens successfully, then we've successfully configured PLCSIM and TIA Portal to talk to each other. So at this point, what we're going to do is we are going to come over to FactoryIO. The first time you open FactoryIO, it might take a few moments for it to actually load up, but this is the home screen for FactoryIO. We're going to go over to the scene menu, and then we're going to select scene 3, the filling tank. And in this scene, we're going to go to File, Drivers. From the driver drop-down menu, we're going to select PLCSIM. And if PLCSIM Advanced is running, FactoryIO does a very good job of automatically detecting that, but it doesn't always work every single time. So if you run into an issue, come over here to the configuration area. Under PLCSIM, make sure that the S7 PLCSIM Advanced option is selected, and then leave everything else here as the default values. Also make sure that the autocorrect option is also connected. From there, we have this view here. And what we're going to check now is making sure that PLCSIM and FactoryIO are actually talking to each other correctly. So to do that, we're going to take this tag information that we see right here, and we're going to click in the lower right-hand corner, we're going to click on the icon that looks like an envelope with an arrow. That's the tag export icon. We're going to, when we do this, it creates a XML file that we're going to use to import tag data with. So we're going to click Open Folder when that option presents itself. We're going to copy this file path right here. And then when we are in TIA portal, we are going to open our default tag table. We are going to click the the import icon. We're going to paste our file path there, and then this icon here with the 3 dots, we're going to click that. That's going to open up that file path, and we're going to select this file here that was generated when we hit the tag export button in FactoryIO. Once we've done that, we want to make sure that under the elements to be imported area of this dialog box that we have tags and synchronized tags by name selected, and we're going to hit OK. We should see a successful import, and we should hit OK one more time. From there, we now have the tags that are generated for this project or this scene over here. These are now in TIA portal. So at this point, we need to upload this project to our device that we're connected to. We're going to continue and hit load. Once that's done, we should be able to go online with our PLC, and we should be able to monitor these tags. From there, once we're at this stage and we're monitoring these tags, we're going to come back to FactoryIO and we're going to start our simulation by hitting that play icon. And we should see that the FactoryIO tag has changed from false to true. If that happens, you should be ready to go. But to make doubly sure that everything is working correctly, we're really briefly going to take a look at how you interact with a simple device in FactoryIO. So, in FactoryIO, we have a camera that we can orbit around. And right now it's centered on this tank. We can change our focus point by double-clicking anywhere inside of the 3D space or 3D environment that FactoryIO is generated for us. So I'm going to double-click on our control panel right here, and you can see that the camera shifted its focus. And then using the mouse wheel, I'm going to zoom in. And then using right-click, I'm going to orbit about that point. And I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so we can see that we have 2 buttons called fill and discharge. If I click on fill, we should see that the tag associated with this button should change from true to false. And we can see that that's working. The same should also be true when we hit the button for the discharge. We can see that is also working. If you get to this point and everything is working, as you've just seen in the video, FactoryIO is configured correctly to talk to PLCSIM, TIA portal and PLCSIM are configured correctly to talk to each other, And we now have our programming simulated environment set up and ready to go. This is the environment that we're going to be using for the next several tutorials. I would advise that if you've been following along with this tutorial exactly, you should have the CPU 1512C-1 incorporated into your project already. If you do not, in the next couple videos, that's the PLC that we're going to be using. So just be aware of that. Other than that, if you guys have questions, please reach out to me. If nothing else happens, other than that, if you guys have questions, please reach out to me, and I will see you guys in the next video.